Hello and welcome to our second episode of MRcast. I'm Irdina, your host for today, and I'm thrilled to have you with us. In today's episode, we unpack the world of ESG. Now, what is ESG? What is sustainability? How does it affect us? Why is everyone talking about it? Is everyone suddenly green? Is that what it means, ESG? To help us make sense of it all, we're joined by a very special guest, Dr. Baizura. Dr. Baizura is a sustainability consultant in Malaysia, and she has helped so many companies across different industries. And she was also the sustainability consultant for the first eco-industrial park in Malaysia. And she's also one of the only 29 GRI certified sustainability consultants in Malaysia. Very impressive.
Thank you, Irdina, for such a glorious explanation of my background.
No worries. Personally, I've known you for almost 3 years now.
Yes, I think about that time, yeah.
Yeah, since I started chambering in this firm. And I have to say, it's such a privilege to have been working with you on so many sustainability-focused projects, because I think that is when it was through these collaborations that I got to actually experience in-depth sustainability practices and how it translates into real-life practices.
Yeah, I think that's also when we produced Emarco first sustainability report, isn't it?
Yes. I think as far as I'm concerned, our firm is the only firm and the first firm in Malaysia to have produced our own sustainability report. All thanks to you as well for providing so many assistance and your ESG insights to us.
That's a great effort from a law firm. You know, it's something different.
Yeah,
and
it's something
new.
new. Yeah, it is
Yes.
something new.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So without further ado, let's dive into today's conversation.
Let's go.
Dr. Baizura, how are you? Welcome to our podcast.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you share with us your background and how you became involved in ESG?
Oh, that's such a long story. Okay, actually it started quite early, right after my SPM. I was trying to find a place in university in Japan. So I got scholarship under the Look East policy. And
Look East policy, yeah?
Yes, exactly, yeah. And that's when I discover civil and environmental science when we do study a lot on 3R. You know, like Japan is so famous for being clean and for being managing their waste properly. So that's when I started to get to know ESG. And then since then, my career has revolved around that space. Sometimes more on the technical side, like sustainable construction and infrastructure, but sometimes also on the policy sides when we look into how cities can be greener. We work with local and federal government on rancangan pemajuan. So ESG, even without the term of ESG, has been something that I've been doing all my educational and professional background.
Yeah, you mentioned sustainable construction and infrastructure. Can you just elaborate what that actually entails? Like, how does it look like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
engineering perspective. Yeah.
Okay, sustainability sounds complicated.
Yeah.
And then when we look into construction, so it's where the foundation of our cities are. So the building, how we build the building. So we go and check like what type of material the company use, what type of location that our building is going to be built. So how they manage properly the water treatment from the construction field. So that's what we look into actually.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that you studied in Japan. Just out of curiosity, what was your experience studying there? How was it?
Related to sustainability, well, it's true because when we talk about how clean Japan is, well, actually it comes from the public, you know. It's not like in Malaysia where we always, we are tend to have the top-down approach, but in Japan it's a lot of bottom-up, where actually the local society, the community is the one that pushed and requested for the changes. You know, they are clean because of what we call war on waste. Because the people just don't want their money that they pay for tax goes to treating waste, because that's such a wasteful thing to do. So that's why they themselves believe that, okay, if I want the change to be, it started from my house. So they reduce the waste, they separate the waste so that their tax money goes more on education, goes more on public transport rather than going to manage the waste.
I see.
And actually, I think like we have to acknowledge here today, because my background is a lot on Look East policy, you know.
Yeah, and speaking of Look East policy, today's Dr. Mahathir's 100th birthday.
Yes, that's why we have to say congratulations to him.
Congratulations to
and
him.
thank you
Yes.
for bringing this brilliant idea of Look East policy into Malaysia.
We wish to live that long.
Of course.
So Dr. Baizura, everyone's talking about ESG, but what exactly is it? Like, in simple terms.
Okay. ESG, yes. Everyone is talking about it. Some are misusing or misleading people. I'm not saying that they wrongly portray it, but sometimes it's over portraying and everything. So let's unpack it. So ESG, you mentioned everyone suddenly green. True.
Yeah.
Everyone suddenly green.
Everyone.
Yeah, and you know, but it's not about that. It's not about environment only, because you see in the ESG itself, E stands for environment.
Yes.
So S for social and G is for governance.
Yes.
So actually it's looking at how company do their business. No matter what you do, but ESG or sustainability is to see how you treat your people, how you treat the planet or our earth, and how you run your businesses. So when we look into E, environmental, the most well-known one, but it's not the only part of sustainability. It's like we look into energy use, we look into carbon emission, we look into waste and water. So this is a lot about, now we say about Malaysian wants to reduce 45% of its carbon reduction by 2030. So transitioning to renewable energy. This is what E is about. But bigger than that, there is S and G. Social is about how company treats its workers, whether it supports diversity, whether it supports community engagement, you know. Previously or traditionally, people will link this to CSR, but it's beyond that actually, because CSR is looking outwards, how you treat people, but S in the social for ESG looks into inwards, how good you treat your people. Is the working hours flexible enough to support all types of workers that you have? So this is S. And then we have the G, the governance part. So it's about integrity. It's about how good the top of the company run the company. It's about making sure that everyone's voice is heard. This is about, is your company following the law? If it try to avoid corruption, and is it making a fair and transparent decision? It's not ever about everyone saying yes to the board of director, but it's about having independent thought and someone to question how the company is run. For a firm like Emarco, for example, because you have your ESG framework, ESG roadmap, right? So maybe you can also explain to us like how you do it in Emarco.
No, even in our firm, we take sustainability serious, and we are working towards achieving our own sustainability goals. And I think for this year, we are increasing training and development for our lawyers, and we do outside activities as well as part of CSR with the employees. And and we also have something exciting to announce, and a new collaboration.
Oh wow, I'm looking forward to that. And do you also provide like some sort of pro bono legal services, for example?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we do pro bono cases as well, especially to, let's say, the employees' families or the relatives. We do have a lot of pro bono cases as well in this firm.
Okay, that's nice to know. I hope I wouldn't need the service. Okay.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
Let's hope you won't get into any trouble.
No, I don't want to get into trouble. Let's hope so. Okay.
Okay. No, I think that's true what you mentioned. I think a lot of people, they associate ESG solely, exclusively on the E part, the environment part. When people mention ESG, they think green, they think plants. But actually, sustainability is such a broad concept. It's way more than that. It's a combination. It's a balance of three pillars: environmental, social, and governance.
Yes, that's why when I first talked to your partner, your senior partner, Cik Riza, so that's when the puzzle get matched
Yeah,
because
no,
ESG cannot be championed only by environmentalists.
Yeah, no.
So it have to be people from different type of specialties that get together and to make sure that it's balanced. You're so correct to say that.
Yes, correct. So Dr. Baizura, since sustainability encompasses these 3 pillars, right? Are ESG practices only for big corporations, or can small businesses or individuals like you and I also get involved?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not that we need to, but we must, and we have to want to, because you know, like even a small cafe, you know, switching to reusable cup, or a local shop supporting fair wages, that's ESG too, you know. It's not about the size, but it's about the value and choices. Well, of course, like we are not expecting these small companies to have their ESG disclosure. No, because this is a requirement for a bigger company, the one that have a bigger footprint in our supply chain. So, you know, like Bursa Malaysia is making ESG disclosure compulsory for the public listed. And also, you know, how this actually related to SMEs. So, when you're looking for green financing, for example, you're more and more asked to have your sustainability report. Okay.
And on that point as well, I know that you have a cafe, right?
I used to run a cafe. I used to run a cafe, right? Not anymore.
Yeah. Can you just maybe briefly tell us what kind of like sustainability practices maybe implemented in your cafe? And I'm so sad that I've never tried. I've never gotten the chance to try your cafe.
Okay, now I'm scared what I mentioned. You know, like I've been questioned on how I myself practice sustainability. Okay. Well, because it was a small cafe, then what we try is that we try to source our food supplies and everything locally from regionally. We try to separate our waste properly, and then when we construct the space, we want it to be for the community. So we also have to make sure that it's welcoming enough. You know why? Because at that time I can't afford to have my cafe to be certified green. But what I want to say here is that there is a green rating tools to check on commercial spaces.
I see.
Okay, I'm not promoting or endorsing any brand here, okay? But you know, like Prada in KLCC, actually they are one of the first commercial space in Malaysia that has been acknowledged by LEED from US Green Building Council as a gold-rated commercial area, meaning that their lighting is good for your eyes. And then they're not putting over loud, you know, like the sound is not causing noise pollution. So this is what it is about when we talk about small businesses also can try to improve how they run their business. So
that's really interesting to know that I never even thought of like you mentioned Prada in KLCC, they implement these things for the consideration of their consumers. That's really good to know.
So there are a lot of ways actually, big or small company. Of course, Prada is a big company, but this is just example on even if you're running a small space, you can try to be sustainable or green. Just 1 or 2 steps here and there.
That's actually a good trend that I see, because we know that Bursa Malaysia made it mandatory for public listed companies to disclose their sustainability statements in their annual reports. But I also see a trend where, since non-listed, these private companies also make up a large portion of economy in Malaysia. So I think I'm starting to see that even these non-listed companies, they're starting to voluntarily disclose their sustainability statement. Which I think it's a good baseline.
True. And you don't want to be left out, you know, because everyone that is doing business, you are some sort of like supply chain. So if you don't want your business to be cut by these big companies, because they are not the evil one that cut you because they don't like you, but if you are not bringing the same ethic, the same motivation, then they have no choice but not to do business with you, because everyone needs to make sure that their carbon footprint is small enough, that we are supporting the national target to reduce 45% of our GHG. We are also our country are also part of the Paris Agreement to make sure that 1.5 degrees Celsius is not being, we are not going crossing the line of 1.5 degrees Celsius. So this all that brings to why the small companies also needs to start doing the ESG, you know, and people needs to start to understand it, so that you as a person, as individual, you can also contribute, or you must and want to contribute to ESG or sustainability.
Yeah, no, I agree, because small businesses, they're part of a supply chain. So no matter what, everyone will still have to implement sustainability.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So Dr. Baizura, why, in your opinion, right, why do you think ordinary Malaysians should care about ESG, or is it just a corporate buzzword?
Oh, okay. Some people think that ESG is a jargon, you know? Like, but in reality, it's not. Because, okay, of course, I said it already, like how we need to make sure how the businesses are run in a more environmentally friendly, people-friendly, earth-friendly, but also it will affect us in a bigger way, you know? Like, for example, the E. We need to check how clean our air and water are, how frequent floods happen in our neighborhood, and whether new development consider climate risk. So this actually really related to our day-to-day life. We see now in KL how fast the flash flood happens. You know, it's already called flash flood, but it's happened just in the blink of eyes. So this is actually the impact of us not realizing the sustainability part of development early enough. So let's not be too late in being aware of why we should know ESG. You know, like for example, in the S part, you know, where we say like how they take care of the people that works in the company, which is like, for example, if you're working in factory, or even if you're working in office, you know, there are a lot of hazard in the office. Is, you know, like wire you can trip and fall down. You know, that's
as simple as that.
As simple as that. So, and also like, for example, if your bosses are expecting you to work all over the weekend without rest, and then you still come back on Monday, still have to be alert, I think you're prone to do mistake. So that's
work-life balance.
Exactly, work-life balance and everything. This is why ordinary Malaysian have to understand that you have the right and responsibility. So you want the company to respect your responsibility. You want the company to respect your right, but you also have the responsibility toward the communities. So by understanding ESG, you're also paying tribute to the people.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to capture how the relationship is between like company and its people, and relationship, and
to the environment also.
To the environment as well. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Baizura, you've been in this industry for quite some time. How have you seen ESG landscape change or evolve over the years? Are there any changes?
Oh yes, it's big changes. Once, before we don't have the word of ESG.
Yeah.
So I think that's
quite a new term.
Exactly.
I've heard of sustainability, but not ESG.
Exactly. Even when we talk about sustainability and ESG, people still think it's only environment. You know? So that's a big change now.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is that it has become rather more structured. It's still voluntary. But it has become rather structured. Where in Malaysia, it has shifted through the requirement. For example, I mentioned we have agreed that Bursa required the public public listed company to produce their sustainability report annually. Okay, and then bank now through the Bank Negara is requiring banks to provide ESG related or green financing. So that's how it has moved, you know, from voluntarily to a more shifted organized requirement.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned green financing. I also noticed that more financial institutions are integrating ESG criteria as part of their, you know, measurement or standard for their financing decisions. And I get these questions a lot as well from our clients in this firm. To what extent is the bank's requirements when it comes to a company's ESG performance? So it's something that SMEs and companies, they should be cautious, because banks are unlikely to finance companies and projects that fail to meet the basic ESG thresholds, or projects that, you know, pose long-term environmental and reputational impact.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah,
that's why more businesses are beginning to realize that ESG is not just about reporting, but it's about creating your long-term value. You know, how you want your company to be seen.
Yeah. Yep. So Dr. Baizura, how is Malaysia doing compared to other countries when it comes to ESG?
Okay. In the global view, Malaysia is doing very well because we are catching up quickly. As I told you that we are being championed by Bursa Malaysia, we are being championed by Bank Negara to requires all the companies to start doing their sustainability disclosure, you know, to start tracking the data and to start publishing a real data that is like backed by science. Okay, and also like we just finished the ASEAN talk that we host, our country hosts. So that shows also that we are also championing this within the region. But locally, we see there is a gap where the public listed company, those that have a bigger bank account, is able to have team or external third party to help them to shape their ESG disclosure, ESG roadmap. What we see here is the gap between the SMEs. So there are still a lot of companies that are unsure where to start or may not have enough resources to act on ESG. So what we need here in Malaysia now is more capacity building, clearer support system, and accessible tools. You know, of course, there are a lot already that openly available tools, but really to start, that is the challenges that we see in Malaysia. So as a country, our government have been championing. We also like in terms of climate-related policies also. We hear about carbon tax or carbon market guideline or framework that is being built and going to be announced. So this shows that, again, top down, we are quite strong, but bottom up, we still need a little bit more of closing the gap.
I see. Yeah, because I recall as well in the recent budget 2025 that our government is planning to impose like a carbon tax on certain industries like iron, steel, and energy, I think by 2026. So I think it seems like we are heading to the right decision, but like you said, probably more implementation has to be improved in this country.
And saying that we are not scaring people, you know, like you're so scared to do business now. So, but it's just that we want people to be ready.
Yes.
And it's not a trend. Actually, ESG is to stay.
Yes.
And then, as we mentioned, that everyone is, you know, you are in the market. If you're in the market, you are supply chain to some sort of company. So you want to be ready. Okay. So you don't want to be left behind. So we are not here to scare the company. We're not making the small company say like, okay, we're not going to do this. No, but it's just that we want you to get ready.
Yeah. Okay. So doctor, I hear this term a lot, greenwashing. I have to ask you, do companies really actually care about ESG, or is it just to look good on paper?
Okay.
In your experience.
You bring up a very interesting term there, greenwashing.
Greenwashing.
So what is greenwashing to you actually?
From my understanding, greenwashing is when a company portrays itself to be sustainable, but when you actually look into the data and their practices, they don't really implement all the things that they're not really walking the talk. That's from my point.
True. So that is greenwashing actually. You know, like you just put your poster green color, you know,
bolded in green.
Yes, okay,
trees and plants.
Exactly. So to answer your question, actually, it's fair enough. There are both type of companies. You know, those that really cares, both that are, you know, doing it just for the sake of reporting. You know, so how do we know that if the companies are really doing good or they're greenwashing. It's just that you want to be able to see the numbers, meaning that if the company is saying they're good, they're eco-friendly, they are what are the words? They're having like the net zero carbon target by then and that, but you don't see what they are doing actually. And first is that their report is not being published on their website. That is already red flag.
I see.
Because ESG or sustainability is about making it out there so people can see it. If you have to dig,
I see.
If you have to be a stalker,
okay,
then
that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So if they say like, oh, this is too much into digging of our PNC, that's not a good sign. Okay, so companies that really are into ESG, into sustainability, they make it into their day-to-day practice. For example, I know a lot of people will agree with me. I hate when I go to cafe and I'm served with paper straw.
Paper straw is, no, that is,
yes.
I absolutely hate paper straw, and I'm so glad that it's considered as greenwashing.
Yes, I'm not saying that we have to go back to using the plastic straw. But if my paper straw then served inside a plastic, oh hello.
And it gets soggy very easily. And also I read somewhere that paper straws are actually not even a good alternative to plastic straw because they also contain like forever chemicals. I'm not an expert, but so I'm glad to hear that. I think all companies should.
Because every time I go to lunch or like coffee with my friends, like, oh, this is thanks to you. I say like, no, sorry friends, no, that's not because of me. I'm also against paper straw. But I'm not saying that we have to go back to plastic straw, but we have to see like, it could be your first step, your opening door into sustainability, but if it stopped at paper straw, no. So that's greenwashing. That's how I want to tell you that that's how easy you want to see the red flag in a company. You know, like, and that is just about E part, you know. But we see also like since what happened in Palestine or Gaza. I'm not talking about politics here, okay? We see that a lot of our local company that got impacted by that through the reduce or the drop in their businesses.
Yes.
Because people feel that the ethic of the company doesn't align with them. This is how young people have been acknowledging the ESG part of the company. So the company, before putting that we are green company, we are sustainable company, we care about the people and everything, you really have to make sure that you walk the talk, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Because I find myself also, you know, prone to not supporting brands that I know their values are not aligned. Like you said, I'm also not trying to be political here, but obviously there was a whole boycott about companies that supported genocide. And
exactly, because not that you directly pay for the war, but if you're indirectly, because now information is everywhere. People can see even a small relation to issue that is not aligned with our value, our ethics. So you're going to be questioned by your customer, and how you are being questioned is by they are not buying you, and they're not bringing their business to you.
No, you're right. So Dr. Baizura, with that being said, right, what will happen if, you know, like companies like you mentioned just now, they just ignore ESG? Like what's at stake also for us as society?
Okay, we have mentioned just now that if the company doesn't really walk the talk, if you don't get into this wave of sustainability, of ESG disclosure, is that one, you'll lose your business. Because people are now getting information and correct information. Okay, it's everywhere. But as a society, if we don't pay enough attention, if we don't push enough for our companies to care about us, because caring about sustainability is caring about us, caring about the earth where we live in. So what will happen is that we'll have more flood. I've mentioned that. We'll have unfair labor practices. We cannot, I think it's still fresh in our mind what happened during 2020, 2021, during pandemic, how one of our companies, big companies in Malaysian companies, that was being cut off their business because of forced labor, for example. So this is what will happen, and wider inequality. So that actually ESG or sustainability ensure progress doesn't come at the cost of you. You know, like I mentioned about the climate crisis and everything. You know, what happened to Sri Muda neighborhood, because actually, to begin with, if someone have read the EIA report, Environmental Impact Assessment report of it, the neighborhood shouldn't even have been developed there. So this is how important it is for people to understand ESG, and we cannot ignore ESG.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect. Like, if your company completely ignores ESG, like you said, you didn't carefully check the EIA report.
Environmental Impact Assessment report.
Yeah. The effect is now such a multitude level, you know, people are affected, flash floods. So I think that's a good point, because I've also, recently read on a news circulating about how a local company faces many backlash because of abusive working conditions. So it's also a reputational risk for the companies as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just like you do good to environment. You know, like it's also that you need to do good to the people, your own people, and the community around. So that's sustainability.
Yeah. So Dr. Baizura, you work with so many companies on ESG before. What is, in your opinion, from your observation, what's their biggest challenge when they're trying to, so to speak, go green?
Oh, okay. There is a lot of misconception here, okay? But we have to also acknowledge, you know, to change, it's hard to change.
Yeah.
But ESG is yes, exactly. But ESG is not about you have to redo, you know, everything. No, it's about you choosing. Can you ask me question again? Jap.
Oh, yes.
I need to.
Alright, tak apa, no worries. Sorry. Tak apa.
Okay.
Your time. Okay.
From the question,
Dr. Baizura, you work with companies on ESG before, so throughout your... Okay, sorry, lose momentum sikit.
Bye.
Okay.
Sekejap, minum air lah.
Okay, tak apa. Take your time. Okay.
Sorry. Bye.
So, Dr. Baizura, you work with companies on ESG before. From your experience, what is the company's biggest challenge when they're, so to speak, trying to go green?
Okay. The biggest challenge is often just to start, you know. But we have to give some sort of space to the companies also, you know, because change is hard.
Yes.
Especially, you know, the uncertainty, the misconception always, because people always worried about the cost, the technical know-how, and then where to even begin. You know, because like as we mentioned, that sustainability is about everything under the sun.
Yep.
So people got chaotic.
Scared.
Scared. Like, can I do this? Is this enough? Is that enough? So you know, so many things. And even when they start opening the rating tools or like framework that is publicly available, there are like hundreds and hundreds of things to do. So they got scared. And they think like, you know, we have to overhaul the entire operations. This is all overwhelming. But that is not how you start doing it, okay? Because as I said, even if when it goes compulsory disclosure, okay? We just talk about this for now. So even if it goes to compulsory disclosure, Bursa is not asking you to do everything under the sky. They say you pick 10 or 9 topics. So this is for the company, the public listed company, we know the one that have bigger bank account. But ESG is about voluntary. It's about trying to be better. That is sustainability, you know. It's about trying to be better.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I would always say that got your internal support. Okay, you have to have the buy-in of course, your top. Your top must want to do this. So your decision maker must want to do this, and also the whole team.
Yeah.
Because as we have been talking again and again, sustainability ESG is not just about one pillar.
It's a commitment.
Exactly, it's a commitment. So everyone must be together in doing this. So next, once everyone have the buy-in, everyone's ready to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can look into what you're already doing.
Yeah.
I'm so sure there is no company, there is no business that have been zero in sustainability in ESG, you know.
Yeah.
You must have some sort of actions in terms of, you might have like waste segregation, or you might already think about energy efficiency, like changing your light bulb to LED. That's also part of ESG. And also, if you're in Malaysia, if you're doing company, you must have been complying to the local law.
Yes.
That is part of ESG. So this is about checking where you are today first, and then where you want to be in 3 years, in 5 years down the line, and then how you close the gap. This is how you start working with ESG. You know, you see where is your strength, and you want to enhance that.
You're right, because I remember working on one of our sustainability projects together, and I remember looking at one of the standards. It's called GRI Index, and I felt overwhelmed. So I can imagine how a company starting to get into sustainability, they would feel overwhelmed to see that there are so many criteria, items very specifically laid out for each particular social governance. And yeah, I understand if companies get overwhelmed, but like you mentioned, these companies, they already have, actually, they already implement these sustainability practices in place. For example, they have policies like sexual harassment, anti-money laundering, OSHA, occupational safety and health policies. So all of these things, it's only a matter of whether you implement them. And now you want to either voluntarily or you have to disclose it to the public.
True.
Yeah, so it's already in place. It's just a matter of consolidating and disclosing, right?
And what I always want to say also that ESG or sustainability is a journey. It's a journey. So it's going to be like a marathon. It's a long-term journey. So it's okay to start small as long as you're earnest and consistent, and also you're committed to progress, you know, because you are not there to win sustainability awards, but you are there to win the heart of the people that you're doing business with. It's not just companies, but it's also the communities. So you want to show what is your strength. So your sustainability report is about how you're doing today and how you want to be better.
Yeah, so with that being said, right, how should SMEs, small and medium enterprises, approach ESG, especially because you mentioned with limited resources and they get scared? Like, how should they approach all this?
Okay, the easiest way, I think, like, because all the information actually available freely on internet nowadays, you know, but you don't want to be misled also, because then again you don't want to be doing greenwashing. So in Malaysia, the best way is that our Bursa have Bursa Academy online that you can go, check, take some of the quizzes there, then that's how you can start small. Or also there is another association, UN Global Compact, they also have UNGC Academy. Here also they have a simple guideline there. That could be your first step into it. So you go to a reliable sources that can help you. You know, you don't, if you're SMEs, you don't just directly go and open GRI guideline and then want to be, you don't compare yourself to the company, the public listed company that have been doing ESG disclosure for 3-5 years. You want to be seen at least together with your peer.
Yeah.
Okay, don't compare yourself with the
giants
giants,
that leave
exactly.
a much larger carbon footprint, right?
Yes, yes. So you just take 1 or 2 actions first, and then make sure that you have the good data, enough data. That's how I would say it.
Yeah. Okay. And I've always wanted to ask you this question, like, what's the biggest myth or misunderstanding that you've heard about ESG?
Oh, ESG is expensive. ESG is difficult, and ESG slow down businesses. Well, in reality, ESG helps companies to avoid costs of doing bad business,
Yes.
bad publicity. Because we already see just now, we mentioned few examples on how not doing sustainable business
Yeah.
is a bad reputation impact. You not just got fines,
Yeah.
or you just lose your business. Okay, so doing ESG, doing it the right way, actually helps you in a longer run. And then also, people say it's expensive. No, actually, because we see like transitioning to renewable energy actually help you to reduce your long-term costs of running your business. That's just from the E part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you really think of it, companies who are running on unsustainable operations, it will be more expensive or more costly in the long run. Imagine the regulatory fines, reputational risk, or even
not receiving the green financing, for example.
not receiving green financing. How are you going to run your business? So I think in the long run, it is actually more expensive to not have sustainability in your company.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
the
there is
risks
nothing
add up.
complicated about it.
Yeah.
If sustainability or if ESG is too complicated to you, then I think you might go start day one on starting to do your business first. Because like we say that it's not just about the environment, it's about SDG. If you want to do business, I think you want to take care of your people.
Yeah. So in a way, ESG is actually just being a good business. You run you
ethically.
Ethically speaking, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
It's not difficult because it's not rocket science.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
No.
I agree. So as an individual, as a consumer, how does ESG affect things like that we use every day, like our food, our electricity, or even the house that we live in or the office? How does it affect us?
Okay, let's go into that about the house, for example, because I talk about how I also work in construction world and everything. Do you know that 90% of our time is spent indoor?
I definitely spend all my time indoors, so I know.
Yes, because a lot of people say like, well, no, I don't think 90% of that. Yes, because you're either at home,
or in the office.
at the office,
Yep.
or during weekend you're in the mall. So you are
always indoors.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're 90%
You don't
of
go
it
out.
indoor. So that's why you have to want to be in a clean environment.
Yeah.
So that's why you want your building is not built by hazardous material. Okay, we have seen the we have seen that Malaysian also have banned the use of asbestos, for example. Okay, and now if you want to be considered a green building, either certified or not certified, you have to choose a product or materials that is low VOC.
Oh,
Okay, meaning that the paint, the adhesive, the sealant that is used is not emitting gas that is polluting your lung.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how ESG really impact us.
Yeah.
You know, like to make sure that our air that we breathe is clean.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like for example, food. When we grow food, we use fertilizer. So we want to avoid company that use fertilizer, because it's not just making our fruits bigger and juicier or what, but it's actually polluting our underground water.
Oh, okay.
And that is the water that we drink. And we also know nowadays about, you mentioned about microplastic, right?
Yeah.
There is a study that shows that water in Malaysia is one of the most polluted, the most contains with microplastic. and then more doctors finding microplastic in our organ, in the brain, in the heart. So these are the impact of not caring about sustainability early enough. Okay, so now we just don't want to be too late.
Yeah. So in that sense, I feel like, especially like developers and those producers or manufacturers of plastic, they really have to be responsible, and that's where also research and development comes in, where you have to really find materials that are suitable and more and leave lesser impact on us. Because I did read about how it's quite alarming to me to know that Malaysia is one of the, I think, the largest microplastics
contents in the water.
The water.
Now that we speak about that, okay, I just remember last week, one company in Japan just launched their PET bottle for water without any labels anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because, to think again, because of course, like, we need companies like to tend to put all the labels and everything for marketing, you know. But for water, what do we want to market in water?
Yeah, it's just water.
It's just drinking water. It's just plain. There is no color. So why would a bottle that is selling water have to have such big labels, colors, and everything? So this is one way of them reducing the plastic into the waste generation.
I see. Oh, sorry, you mentioned PET bottle. What does it mean, PET bottle?
PET bottle is a type of plastic.
I see.
Okay. So the PET bottle actually will have the PET. It will have numbers that will tell you how many times the plastic has been recycled.
Oh,
and how many times that it could be still recycled.
Okay.
So of course, like, people are saying plastic is bad, but we cannot like eliminate 100% of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course we are not, what we are trying today is not to alarm people, you know, of the end of the world or anything, okay? But we are trying to make people make a better decision. So it's like that. So if you really need to have a PET bottle, drinking water bottle, then you choose the one that is in a better type of plastic, better materials. So of course we mentioned about the straw just now. It's because that is single-use plastic. It's not from PET, from PET. So that's what we want people to choose better, you know.
I see. Okay, that's interesting. So speaking about all this consumerism, and for us as consumers, how do I know if a brand actually cares about ESG and is actually sustainable and they're not just greenwashing?
It's quite a difficult question to give you a direct answer.
Okay.
But we have already mentioned it before, you know, like how when they say something, you know, when they say they are eco-friendly or green, we want to be able to see what really is. Okay, when they say they are eco-friendly or green, but they are still using single-use plastic, for example, they are still funding issues that is not aligned with our ethics. So that is a greenwashing, or like that is like you are not walking the talk. But also another way is that we can check on third-party validation, or like, for example, in green building, you have green building certification, for example, or third-party verification, things like fair trade. Fair trade is not something commonly known yet in Malaysia, but in Japan, it's quite a common knowledge, meaning that the company is resourcing their materials from a place that is paying a good wage, you know, like, because like we see like France, for example, earlier this month have banned the promoting of product from Shine.
Yes.
Because of a lot of the question about how the mass production of it, the super fast production of it, how it's not paying fair wages, for example. So there is a third party validation on fair trade, for example, and FSC. for our wood, for example. So this third-party certification of it also helps on us to be more sure that this company is not just self-claiming themselves, but they have a data, they have people that check on it. So, of course, not all companies can afford this. So the way you want to really know if the company is actually sustainable or not is by looking at how they do business, is by questioning them, is by hearing what they say, how they promote, how they market themselves. Because marketing yourself sustainably is also part of the requirement of ESG. You're not overclaiming yourself and everything.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Dr. Baizura, we're both from the younger generation.
Not.
Okay. You are. So, as part of younger generation, what role do we play in driving ESG adoption?
A big role, very big role actually, because young people are the one that will shape our country. Young people are that will shape our future. You know, like we say just now, even understanding where you want to be, what kind of company you want to work with, even questioning yourself on, do I really need to buy a cup of coffee that not aligned with my ethic? You know, it's just not about, we are not just talking about the genocide, for example. The coffee beans, how the coffee tree is being grown is also part of things that you have to see, you know. It's not because the company say we are a local company that we are okay. No, so we want to be fair when we do the judgment. Okay, so this is how the young people can play roles in driving ESG. By first is educating yourself and be interested. Okay, so you have to be interested. You have to read from reliable sources, article and everything. So you have to actively make choices based on your value.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think even speaking from my own experience as a consumer, I find myself prone to products that are, you know, that are aligned with my values. And it's not just about being eco-friendly, you know, but also, is this brand responsible? You know, I think as younger generation, we are more intentional in the way we make our choices. Like, we read labels, we see how things are made and how companies are treating their worker, and are they really, you know, walking the talk. And, you know, we don't just want to support a business that's profitable but also responsible. So I think that's a good baseline.
Also, yes, it's just not about buying. Also, it's about like, even like when you want to work with the company, that this is also important for company in order to retain their talent. You know, post pandemic, a lot of companies say like, oh, it's so difficult for us to find a good staff. It's so difficult for us to have someone that wants to work long term with us. But by being a good company, by being a company that provide work-life balance, you're also attracting young people to work with you, ethical people. So we want everyone to be together in this journey.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. As part of younger generation, I would definitely be more prone to see companies that, you know, offer all this work-life balance, flexible work hours. To me, that's sustainability. Yeah. Okay. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. A huge thank you to Dr. Baizura for taking the time off your busy schedule to come down here and talk about sustainability with us. It's clear to us now that ESG is not just a compliance box to tick. It's not just a corporate trend. It's here to stay. And it's becoming a core part of a business, and it's how companies are being held accountable. So we hope that today's conversation has sparked new interests and new fresh perspectives for you out there, whether you're a practicing lawyer, business leaders, or simply someone who's passionate about building a sustainable future. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to stay tuned for more discussions at the intersection of law, business, and societal impact, brought to you by Mohamed Ridza & Co. Until then, thank you for listening, take care, and stay informed.